Welcome to the newsroom on CNN Philippines. In the news, after seeking refuge in the Senate for weeks, Senator Antonio Trillanes goes home to his family. But his battle against moves to arrest him continues next week. Facebook says 50 million users were compromised in a huge security breach. We tell you what the social media giant is doing about it. And the megastar Sharon Cuneta celebrates 40 years in the industry with an unforgettable concert. Good afternoon, I'm Maya Rodriguez. Thanks for joining us. Embattled Senator Antonio Trillanes finally gets to spend the weekend at home with his family. No arrest warrant was issued by the Makati RTC Branch 148 yesterday in connection with the voiding of his amnesty on coup d'etat charges. Our Rex Remitio joins us on the phone from Antipolo, Rizal. Rex, you followed the senator today. Tell us what happened.
Well, Senator Antonio Trillanes says he feels relieved after seeing his family again after almost a month. Trillanes has just arrived at his home in Town and Country Executive Village in Antipolo City. He left the Senate at 10:41 in the morning, and the travel took only about 40 minutes. The senator calls this as a political miracle that he was able to go home alive and safe. The fierce critic of President Duterte is thanking those who prayed for his welfare all this time. He was being held up in the Senate for over 3 weeks after President Duterte threatened to arrest him. The chief executive revoked the amnesty that former President Noynoy Aquino gave Trillanes. Trillanes also attributes his affirmation or so-called paninindigan to his faith to God. He says he's still standing and firm despite the many enemies he has now, especially President Duterte. So what he's going to do while he's at home? Here's his answer.
One big realization that we had is yung marami palang nagmamalasakit na Pilipino na minsan iisipin mo na parang kakaunti lang kayong lumalaban at tumatayo. Pero nung nangyari ito ay lumabas sila at nagsalita sila at nakiramay sila. So lalong tumitibay yung ating paninindigan dahil dyan at lalo tayong namomotivate and na-inspire to continue doing what we're doing.
He also fired shots on Justice Secretary Bernardo Guevara, telling him to protect the justice system instead of threatening state enemies. The senator, in his words, says Guevara is weaponizing the justice system. Before his interview ended, he tells the president that he can do his worst. After all, Trillanes says that in the history of mankind, the evil never wins. Back to you.
Rex, what's the plan next week? Of course, he still has work to do at the Senate, but what's on the agenda?
Trillanes says he will return to work at the Senate on Monday. He will tell the chairpersons of different committees that they have pending corruption investigations, like those involving Solicitor General Jose Calida and Special Assistant to the President, Bongo. Mine.
All right, thank you. Rex Remitio there reporting to us from Antipolo, Rizal. So why did the Makati Court Branch 148 defer action on the Justice Department's motion to issue an arrest warrant against Trillanes? Judge Andres Soriano wants to first appreciate the evidence to be presented by both Trillanes and the prosecution before acting on the motion. Soriano set a hearing on October 5 for this. Both camps are expected to submit evidence to answer two issues. First, whether or not Trillanes filed the application for amnesty, and second, whether or not there was an admission of guilt. Trillanes is facing a coup d'etat case at Branch 148, a non-bailable offense. Judge Elmo Alameda of Branch 150 on Tuesday issued an arrest warrant for Trillanes for his rebellion case, but allowed him to post bail. In other news, the COMELEC reminds the public there will be no extension of the voter registration period, which ends today at 5 p.m. The poll body's advice to registrants: pack a lot of patience. Let's check the situation in the COMELEC office in Manila. Makoy Popioco joins us from there. Hi, Makoy. What's the latest?
Hi, Mai. Hundreds of people are here lining up, hoping to do their last-minute voters registration. As you can see at the back, the line is really long here at Agoceros in Manila, and this stretches from the satellite office of Comelec there. And the line is about 15 meters long, stretching all the way here at the central station of the LRT. Many of them are first-time voters, so we've seen a lot of young people inside. And most are also people who are trying to change their voting address. Many of them have lined up as early as 4 in the morning. The Comelec has distributed numbers as early as 7 in the morning, but they have only distributed 300 numbers. So that means they can only accommodate 300 people today. Apparently, with how this crowd looks, there are more than 300 people here, and we're waiting for some more announcements from Comelec if they're going to accommodate more people later in the afternoon. Let me talk to one of them. Hi, ate. Ano pong pangalan ninyo?
Wilma Yulin, sir.
Mating harap po tayo dito. Anong oras pa po kayo naka-line up dito, ate?
Alas 9 po. Doon sa dulo po kami, pinakadulo. Tapos, nung umuurong yung pila, nandito na naman kami. Anong oras na ngayon? 12. Wala pa kami tanghalian.
Ma'am, alas 9 ng umaga. Pero bakit ngayon lang po kayo nagpa-register?
Pumunta po kami dito nung 26 po ata yun, tapos wala siyang kasi by district po kasi yun, sir, District 3 kami. Walang open kasi nasa ibang barangay po daw. Kaya bumalik kami. Ngayon may trabaho naman. Ngayon lang walang trabaho. Kaya po ganun.
Pero paano yan? Ang sabi ng Comelec, they can only accommodate 300 people daw ngayong araw at 5 magko-close na sila. Sa lagay ng pila dito, sa tingin niyo maaabutan kayo?
Ayun na nga, sir, pang ano na to sa amin Kung mabibigyan, di kami magpaparegister. Pag hindi, wala tayong magagawa niyan. Oo.
Okay, thank you. Thank you po.
Okay.
Mai, again, so the Comelec is closing at 5 in the afternoon, but we're waiting for further announcements if they're going to accommodate more people later today. Mai.
Mokoy, let's talk about the first-time voters. How many new voters are expected today?
My Comelec said that they have received over 1 million new voters applications, and all in all, there are about 61 million Filipinos expected to participate in the May 2019 elections. Mai.
So, Makoy, many have been in line for about 3 hours now, like that person you were talking to. So, what are the other complaints of the registrants, aside from the long lines that's expected, actually, by the Comelec?
Well, for Wilma, she arrived here at 9 in the morning, but many of the other people, especially there inside, have arrived here as early as 4 in the morning. So they've been here for about 8 hours already. And we've talked to some of them in the part of the line there inside. And they told us that, well, they're complaining about the heat of the sun. There are only about four tents that the Comelec has provided, and many of the people waiting here are waiting under the sun, and they're complaining about the heat, of course, the long lines. But again, the Comelec is saying that they have given them enough time to do their voters registration. In fact, the Comelec has opened their satellite here as early as July. That's about 3 months. That's why they're also wondering why these people are doing last-minute voters registration. Mai.
All right, thank you, Rex Ramitio, reporting live from Manila. The Environment Department says the waters on Boracay Island are now safe and clean. In a congressional hearing yesterday, Task Force Boracay Chair Environment Secretary Roy Simatu said coliform levels at White Beach and the east side of the island are now far below the maximum tolerable level. Coliform is a bacteria usually found in human and animal waste or from decaying organisms. Government authorities say the reopening of Boracay will push through in less than a month, but they say its complete rehabilitation will take 2 years. Simatu hopes that after the 2-year timeline, people will abide by environmental laws in the area. Still ahead, Facebook users, listen up. Were your accounts logged out yesterday? Facebook tells us about the massive data breach that exposed about 50 million accounts. And Maynilad customers have to pay more for their water consumption next month. We'll be back after a quick break. Stay with us. to our Facebook viewers, Facebook Live viewers. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Stay with us until the end of the show. We have many more stories coming up for you. One is the massive data breach on Facebook. We'll tell you what they're doing about it. They said about 50 million accounts may have been exposed. They may have been compromised, and it exposed the hackers to their other social media sites. I mean, if you have an account on Instagram maybe or Twitter, you may have been compromised, and the hackers may have gotten information on your account. So let's wait for that story. We'll tell you what Facebook is doing about it. Even Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg's account has been compromised. That's what Facebook said earlier. Also coming up, a water rate hike by Maynila that will tell you the new rates that you will have to pay more for next month. Also, I think we're going to air a story about the IMF's assessment of the government's, the Philippine economy, despite rising inflation and the surging rates. Stand by, stay tuned for until the end of the show. You're in the newsroom on CNN Philippines. Welcome back. If you notice that you have to log in again to your Facebook account, then you are among the 90 million users forcibly logged out on Friday for security reasons. The company says unknown attackers exposed information on nearly 50 million users on Friday and gave them access to their other social networking sites. One of those logged out was Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. However, Facebook says no credit card information was accessed, and they already referred the issue to law enforcement agencies. Facebook says users don't need to take any additional security precautions or to reset their passwords. Heads up, Maynilad customers, a rate hike will take effect next month. The Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage System, or MWSS, approved Maynilad's rebasing adjustment from 2018 to 2022. The rate hike of 5 pesos and 73 centavos will be staggered in 4 years beginning October 1st. The MWSS also approved the foreign currency differential adjustment of 37 centavos per cubic meter for the fourth quarter. This means households consuming 10 cubic meters a month will pay 3 pesos and 66 centavos more. There will be an additional 13 pesos and 73 centavos for those consuming 20 cubic meters, and those consuming 30 cubic meters will pay 28 pesos and 10 centavos more. The government's economic management and reforms are keeping the economy strong. That's according to the International Monetary Fund. But it says prices of goods in the country will continue to rise in the coming months. Our Rex Remitio reports.
The International Monetary Fund says the Philippine economy continues to perform well. This comes after the IMF concludes its Article 4 consultation with Philippine economic authorities. An IMF team visited the country to collect data and discuss economic movements with authorities. In its report, the IMF sees the economy growing stronger in the second half of the year, 6.6% in the third quarter and 6.9% in October to December.
The Philippine economy is doing very well. In fact, one of the fastest growing economies in the region. And we continue to see growth outlook be favorable.
The IMF credits the government's sound economic management and reforms in attaining inclusive growth. The multilateral lender, however, admits short-term risks have increased. Among them are the rising price of goods and services or inflation and the less favorable international forces, such as the increasing global oil prices and possible interest rate hike by the U.S. Federal Reserve. They are expecting inflation to remain high in the coming months.
The SBF is fully committed to price stability and it's indicated that it takes inflation seriously.
The IMF also welcomes the Bangko Central's move to increase interest rates to ensure price stability. The BSP aggressively hiked its policy rates by another 50 basis points to cool down inflation. The international organization also supports the country's move to import rice to curb inflation. But it also enjoins the government to support small farmers if it aims to liberalize the rice industry. Overall, the IMF says their outlook on the country for the coming years remains favorable, putting the Philippines in a good position to deal with poverty and inequality between rich and poor. Rex Remitio, CNN Philippines.
Still ahead, NU forward Troy Reich reveals first on CNN Philippines why he was arrested by immigration officials. And catch the mega surprises during Sharon Cuneta's 40th anniversary concert. This is Newsroom Weekend on CNN Philippines. Stay tuned. Hello to our Facebook Live viewers. Many are commenting on that data breach that was announced by Facebook. Hello kay Tata Rica Blanca, Kakilala Anino. Hello to Nonoy Chris Apeliado. Okay, it takes a long time to load all the comments. Pasensya na po. I will get to the greetings, hopefully. How many minutes do we have for this gap? I think we have a minute left. All right. Sorry, I can't go to the greetings yet. Anyway, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Stay tuned. We will have hourly updates this afternoon for the biggest stories. So we will keep you updated throughout the day. And may isa pa pong Newsroom Weekend at 6 o'clock this evening. Stay tuned for that. Coming up, we have the latest in sports in the UAAP. We have the 40th anniversary concert, the highlights dun sa Sharon Cuneta concert, and what to expect on Lea Salonga's concert as well. The newsroom's back with more stories. First on CNN Philippines, NU Bulldog and Gilas cadet Troy Reich reveals he was arrested by immigration authorities for being an illegal alien. In an exclusive interview, the Philam player says this happened on September 19th after a game against the De La Salle Green Archers at the Mall of Asia Arena. Reich said 3 immigration officers approached him at the parking lot and served an arrest warrant, stating that he was an illegal alien studying without a visa. Reich was detained at the Bureau's main office in Manila, but he was set free the following day after he produced documents proving his citizenship.
It was tough. I'm not going to lie. I got emotional on the way there. I've never been arrested before.
Actual police car?
Yeah, no, no, it was just a regular vehicle. It didn't. The good thing is everyone was very respectful. This is no way to offend or go against the people who directly handled me. They were very nice. They were very respectful. But at the end of the day, I am being detained against my will for over 24 hours. You sleep on the floor. You don't know what's going on. I'm questioning my whole future here. I'm like, I'm a basketball player. Like I don't even know what I'm doing. So that was it was really surreal. I mean, I had to be escorted to the bathroom, and on the way back, the guard asked to take a selfie with me. Like it was. So I guess there were some funny moments in it, but overall, it was a really crazy experience. I would imagine the argument is that I entered with an American passport, which I did, and I'm studying. So he's an American, he's not supposed to be able to study if he didn't get our approval, which is fine. I'm all for enforcing the law. I don't think, at least in my understanding, in normal situations, just in general, you don't go and arrest that person. They could have maybe an email, maybe a letter or anything, or I would have showed up to a hearing. A legal hearing. There's just a bunch of different ways that I think that this could have resolved way better.
Spokesperson Dana Sandoval says Reich's arrest underwent normal procedure. She adds there's no pending case against him.
Yung mga ganun pong allegation, wala naman po kasi we act on any report or information that we receive from the public. So kung may natatanggap po tayo na information about possible immigration violations, we act on it po. So not necessarily targeting specific people, but kung anong information that we get, we act on it.
In entertainment, an entire Coliseum celebrated with megastar Sharon Cuneta last night for her 40th anniversary concert. The Big Dome was filled with mega surprises as celebrities like Gary Valenciano, Martin Nievera, and Ray Valera joined the jam-packed anniversary concert. One of the highlights was a surprise performance from Asia's songbird Regine Velasquez, who sang Sharon's iconic songs. The megastar's on-screen partners Christopher De Leon and Richard Gomez were also there, and of course, her greatest love, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, was the man of the night. Sharon's touching duet with daughter Casey left the audience in tears. What a milestone. That's what's happening in the newsroom this Saturday, September 29. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Catch the updates at the top of the hour in Newsroom 6 p.m. edition. Sports Desk Weekend is up next. Good afternoon.